Greetings, my friend. It's time for our weekly wisdom card draw. This time is for you to pause, to connect with yourself, to reflect, and to commit or recommit to shining your light in the world. I'm going to draw a card from the deck, which is in PowerPoint right now, but which will later this year be an actual card deck. And before I do that, I would love to invite you to just arrive right here, right now, in this moment. Maybe you want to put a hand on your heart and feel your heart beating. Maybe you want to close your eyes and just connect with your breath. Noticing the breath coming in. Noticing the breath going out. Noticing any physical sensations you're experiencing. Heartbeat, breath, physical sensations, anything in the body connects you to the here and now, because your body is only ever here and now. It's our minds that go wandering off into the future and the past. Something else you can do is connect with your external environment. Just take a look at your surroundings and notice them as if you're noticing them for the first time. So however is easiest, the best way for you to connect with the here and now, I invite you to just continue to do that. I'm going to close my eyes and bring the cards up to my heart. And as you continue to just breathe and be, I'm going to ask for the inspiration and the guidance to share the message that will be of highest service to you today. What message will most inspire you to live in alignment with who you really are? What's a message that you most need to hear today? And with that intention out there, I'm going to shuffle the cards and see what message jumps out at us today. You can just keep breathing, keep being, keep allowing yourself to be here in this moment. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, except be right here, right now. And what we have, love it, of course. I said this last week, I think, that whenever I start rambling about something before drawing the card, then the card ends up being the thing that, we were talking about. So our message today is stillness. So stillness, this picture is from Athens, Greece. It's actually from the town of Marathon. This is actually a burial mound from the plain of Marathon, from the Battle of Marathon, which is the origin of the modern running race, the marathon, and a battle where a much smaller Greek force was able to defeat a much larger Persian force. So anyway, blah, 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 we could go on about that. But the idea here is stillness. You see the olive tree kind of overlooking the burial mound. All right. Message of stillness. Nature moves in cycles of action and stillness. On the site of an ancient battle, no signs of conflict remain. Warriors who fought and died now nourish the green grass in their final resting place. I'm going to cry. Okay. What's the ancient battle taking place inside you? Have you been going nonstop lately? Are you overriding the call for stillness? When we first learn to pause, it might seem noisier than ever. When our bodies and lives are constantly in motion, we don't notice how busy our thoughts are. In the stillness, we become aware of the noise. Daunted, we might push away awareness and return to action. But without alignment, action spins us in circles. Building our courage, we return to stillness. What's ready to rest at last so it can nourish new growth? What aligned action will emerge from your stillness? Let that one sink in for a moment. All right. So many places to go with this. And just a little aside, this one must have been one of the early ones I wrote. I don't remember it very well. So some of these I've either drawn so many times or seem like I see them more often. So this one feels really brand new, even though I know that I wrote it. Anyway, What's really speaking to me again is that stillness. The fact that, when you do stop and pause for the first time, might be, yes, those racing thoughts, and then you're judging yourself for your racing thoughts and thinking, I'm a terrible meditator. I'm terrible at being in stillness. I can't do this. This is for everybody else. Everybody else has got this figured out, but clearly there's something wrong with my mind because it won't shut up. Breathe and let that thought be okay. That thought is totally normal. Like you said, when you pause for the first time, you don't really realize how rushed and crazy and running around all the time you've been. And then it can be really scary. I've heard it said actually that people would rather be trampled by elephants than sit alone with their thoughts for 2 minutes. So take that challenge today. Rather than going out and finding an elephant, I would encourage you to see what happens. Just set a timer on your phone for 2 minutes and just sit in stillness, not doing anything else, not doing anything else on your phone particularly. Just turn on the timer and put it down and just see what emerges. It might be 2 minutes of completely racing thoughts. It might be a minute and a half of racing thoughts and then remembering, oh wait, what if I just breathe? What if I just focus on the breath instead of the thoughts? And just try that and just go back and forth, back and forth. You notice a thought, you come back to the breath. You notice a thought, you come back to the breath. I say this all the time when I talk about mindfulness and meditation, is it's not about not ever having a wandering thought. The exercise and practice of stillness, mindfulness, meditation, insert whatever practice here, the practice is actually bringing your attention back to your focus whenever it's wandered. So you have a thought and then you notice and you say, thank you, thought, and I'm coming back to the breath. So if the breath is the object of your focus, allow yourself to just come back to it as many times as you want, as many times as you notice, right? So it's not about not having thoughts in the first place. It's about coming back. And as you practice creating stillness, creating space, start to notice what comes in that space. You actually kind of clean out that channel, your connection to source, your connection to who you really are. And you might have an earth-shattering idea. You might have a huge epiphany, or you might have just a small epiphany, or just a small noticing of something new. Whatever it is, size doesn't matter. This is just about really creating space in the stillness to be who you really are. And like the soldiers nourishing new growth, to nourish the new growth of whatever your soul is just waiting to get its word in edgewise about. So this week, I wish you moments of stillness. Set a timer, 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes a couple times a day. See what you can do. See what calls to you. And let it be okay that you have thoughts. Don't worry about the racing thoughts, the wandering thoughts. Don't worry where your mind goes. Just see how often you can notice and come back to the breath. Come back to your stillness. Take one more look at the photo. Alrighty. I wish you a still week in which I hope the universe speaks to you and your soul speaks to you. Have an amazing week. I'll see you next time.